morning, everybody. It's your girl, Supa Cindy. Welcome to Community Matters. How are you feeling on this Sunday morning? Hopefully blessed and highly favored. And if you're not, we have some awesome information and good energy and good vibes going on this morning, flowing. And we just all got to give thanks to God and just we're here, and we're going to make it through everything going on. But first, let's give out some information and talk. My guest this week is very special to me because her and I are college. We went to college together and I've been friends with her for many years. And she is just such an awesome person who has a connection with the South Florida community and always shows love to so many aspects of the South Florida community. So first, let me introduce her, my girl from on the B side, Miss Ingrid B. Good morning, Ingrid.
Good morning, sunshine.
How you doing, girl?
I, too, am blessed and highly favored. Listen, I never thought that would be something as a response, but I definitely feel that way.
Oh, that is so good. We got to stay positive and optimistic, girls. All about hope and faith. So let me get, for those that are under a rock, and I won't say they're under a rock. Okay, maybe they just haven't known. But let's talk about you first. Ingrid, where were you born and raised? Because I'm trying to get the root of where your passion and love for the South Florida community comes from.
I was born in Jamaica. Don't worry about it. I was raised in Barbados. I was there for 18 months. So I'm not Jamaican. My best friends are, though. So
you don't speak patois, girl?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I was raised in Barbados. My mother is from Barbados and my stepmother, and my father is Haitian. I moved to New York in 1984. I went through one winter and I was like, Mom, I'm out. So I moved to Miami to live with my father somewhere around 1986. And I have been here ever since. So finishing elementary school at St. Mary's Catholic, and then ninth grade, North Miami, and high school, North Miami, where I graduated. And then Miami-Dade, where we met, and then Barry University. And so I'm a South Floridian. I'm a Miami girl.
So a lot of people connect your name to the poetry scene, and you have your movement called On the B Side. Where did your passion and love for poetry, did you always love poetry, or where did this come from?
I always loved poetry. I didn't necessarily always love poetry events. I went to a few somewhere, let's say 97-ish. And I didn't like it. It wasn't working for me. But that was just that vibe, I guess, didn't work for me. And then I was working at Mars Music and I met Rashida Bartley. She was taking voice lessons there but she wasn't a singer. She was a poet. So she invited me one night and I was like, this is dope. I heard a group of poets called the Soul Griots. And they really made me fall in love with the art of spoken word because they were just so convicted, but so young. Haru and all of those people. This is where I met Will the Real One. This is where I met Bertrand Boyd, who was the youngster at the time. So many of the poets, Flo Diva, all of them we met around, 2000 at Power Studios. And that is how I got on the scene. The attendance was a little lacking, and the marketing person in me that I didn't know existed said, let me help her get some bodies out. And here we are 20 years later.
And so I feel like poetry has its ups and downs. Like poetry comes into the main scene and it's like Def Jam and all these people are highlighting it. And then it's like a fad with the corporate people or media people. And then it's silent in a sense. Well, how do you, as a real connoisseur and a creative with the poetry scene, feel about that? Like the ups and downs of them having a passion for it?
It's like prayer. When things start going wrong, we all need prayer. When the country is in an upheaval, when things are going wrong in your life, people need poetry. That's when they call on the poets. When things really need to be said, when it's no longer a game. That's when they call on the poets. So you have the last poets, your Gil Scott Heron. That's the 60s. Things needed to be said, and they said them. And then, you had the advent of hip hop coming from that poetry. And so hip hop became popular. So now we don't need the poets anymore, but the poets are always there, and they're always speaking the truth. There's nothing that is happening now that poets haven't been talking about on microphones from the dawn of time. There are poems that every single time there was a murder, but the police that I would post the same poem, Sonny Patterson, we know this place. Because we know this place, like we know what this is already. And there's certain poets and poems that just speak to that no matter how old they are. And unfortunately, that's one of the problems. But I think that's what it is. The ebb and flow is when we need it. But the trick is we need it all the time. So that's what I want for people to know, that it's not only is it a necessary art form, it's an art form that deserves all the accolades and all the monies that the other artists get. The poets need to be making the monies like all the artists are getting.
Why do you think that is, that they feel like a poet shouldn't be paid like an artist, like a recording rapper artist? Like what is that? Where does that come from? Like, why are they like that?
I have no idea. I guess because there's no beat. I don't know. I have no idea.
It comes in what you guys are saying, though.
I know, but I don't know. They're not hearing it on the radio, I guess. They're not hearing it. I mean, we've had TV shows and they love it when it's there. So the world would have to answer that, because I love it. So I can't understand or have an answer for that question. But I know that it's a very, poetry will inspire you. I tell my audience all the time when we do slams, I'm like, okay, I'm about to give this person my $500. That poem that wins this $500, if we're doing a slam or something, it needs to motivate you to want to do something. You need to get up and get a job, quit your job, get married, get divorced. You need to want to get up and do something, because it needs to change your life. And that is what the ones that are really good at it, the writers that are amazing, that's what they will do.
Definitely. So let's talk about your movement on the B-side. So on the B-side, you celebrated on the B-side's birthday. What was the last birthday? You've been around 20 years on the B-side, or how long?
This year is our 20-year anniversary. Pero COVID. So I've just been celebrating all year. I do want to do something in December, just depending on how the numbers are. I would like to do something in December. Natural Trendsetters and I are trying to collaborate and do something bigger in December. If not, 21 is a good year to celebrate as well. You know what I'm saying? We're going to celebrate.
Because then you can drink.
Exactly. So 21 is a good year as well. But so this year for the 20, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. This year for the 20th. Go ahead.
This year for the 20th, I've brought back all the old events. So over the summer, we did the Bohemia Room, which was the first official
I remember that
big event that I did. You know what I'm saying? The very first event was Flow Fridays, but we brought back the Bohemia Room this summer. So for the fall session, we're bringing back the session. We're doing the social. We're always doing kind of linguistics, because that's everybody's favorite erotic night. And we've got a night called Brother to the Night. And that is the night that the men get in free. The women are not allowed to talk back. And it's a whole lot of fun. Because I am a woman, I don't do ladies night. I do man night, because I need to see the men come out to the poetry spot.
I know, so they're loving that.
For the 20th year. Yes, they're like, wait, we get in free? Let's do this.
Are the girls buying the guys drinks, or are the guys at least buying drinks?
If you see a cutie across the room, you are encouraged to buy him a drink. And if your man if your man amens one of the poems and it's a little touchy, you just have to humble yourself. He's not amening you. That was his ex, and he was triggered. And you just have to let him enjoy that poem and what the poet is saying, because we are not allowed to talk back on that particular night until midnight. we don't talk back.
That sounds super interesting. So besides on the B side, do you have a social for that or a .com for that? Like where everybody could get more information for on the B side events?
Always on the bside.com for everything. The app is on the B side, on the bside.com, on the B side, on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And it's the letter B, not the word D. But the main site, like you asked for, is on the bside.com.
Perfect. So let's move over to your giving part, because like I said earlier, you're such a giver, Ingrid, and you've always been involved, even if it's not your own situation, you always donate your time, your mind, your creativeness, your networking skills, who you know, and you share information and stuff like that with all kinds of organizations, events, and nonprofits. I've seen it with my own two eyeballs, but you have now started your own 501c3, which is called the Soulcial Network, and social spelled SOUL, because everything regarding you is definitely coming from the soul. And I love that. So
definitely.
So explain to everybody what the mission of the Soulcial Network is and what it is.
So the mission of the Soulcial Network is to assist creatives in building their brand and their business. Sometimes they are amazingly talented, or we are amazingly talented at what we do creatively, but we don't really know how to handle the business and the money and make sure you're incorporated, make sure your .com is purchased, that you're branded, that you trademark certain things, even if it's a poor man's copyright, make sure that your stuff is copyrighted, all of those things. Make sure that there's a network of people so that if somebody says, hey, we want to manage you, you can reach back and say, do you know this guy? You know, there needs to be some reference checks to hold some people accountable. Mm-hmm. And I know this because I've heard of some situations, and I'm looking at the girl like, you didn't do your research. Like, you didn't ask anybody any questions. We have to be able to ask those questions. So this is the network where you can get those answers. I clearly have been running a nonprofit this whole time because people tell me all the time that I need to be getting paid for my consultation fees. I give information to almost anybody at any time. If I see that they need the information, I'm going to give it, and I give it freely. Sometimes you don't get back what you give to the people that you give it to, but I definitely get it back threefold from others. There are people that support me and have always supported me that I will never probably be able to do anything for, at least not financially. And so I appreciate that. So this is the way to get the grant money that everybody else gets, but it never trickles down to the urban poetry community or the live music people, the musicians, the singers that are on the B side that are performing everywhere, and they're only getting a certain amount of money for a 2-hour set, but I'm paying them the same thing for 30, 45 minutes. And it's a struggle for me to do it, you know, because it's reliant specifically on the monies that come in the door. If 10 people or 1,000 people show up, I still have to pay those people. So the goal is to be able to raise funds to support artists who are in need, and to pay people their worth, what they should be getting paid to do these performances and these shows, to pay speakers, to do workshops, those who are experts in their field, to have conversations with artists that are up and coming, with students, about making your passion your prosperity. That's all I want to do. I want to be able to work, do something that I love, and be able to eat and sleep well and have, you know, a roof over my head doing what I love.
That's definitely what really is the American dream, though, to be able to do that.
I think that's the human dream. I don't even think it's an American dream. It's a human dream. As people, as humans, like, we make life so difficult. Love what you do what you love. If you're not going to get super rich, make sure that you have access. Money and access are two different things. I have a lot of access. Money I'm going to work on in 2022. So that's what we're doing.
I think we all have access.
we got that. And, you know, I'm ratchet to revolutionary, Cindy. So I go to a little bit of everything. So people are like, why is she here? Because I'm not just poetry. I'm toxic. You're going to see me out doing a little bit of everything because I enjoy a lot of things. I'm on the B side, and the B side is where you should be, but the A side is fun too. So every now and then, I might go to the Meek Mill concert. You might see me there because I love him.
Okay.
Listen.
But like, what are some of the things that the social network does to accomplish the mission that you have? Like, as far as, informing people, are you informing the creatives and the poets and everyone collectively, or are you guys like doing separate meetings? Like, how does it work?
That is going to be what it will do. The social network was formed. It was incorporated on August 8th. Our first event,
congratulations.
Thank you. The launch will be October 20th at the event.
Perfect.
So the purpose of it is to continue everything that I've been doing. But like I said, all of that grant money that's going to organizations is not trickling down to the poets and singers and musicians that I've been watching do their thing for 20 years. I don't see that money trickling down to them. It's going elsewhere. And so my focus is making sure that these up and coming poets in the urban community have access to information that they need, to your business plans. Do you need a lawyer? Do you need an entertainment lawyer? Do you need a photo shoot? Okay, we know photographers who need portfolios. Let's link you guys together. Do you need your hair done? You need for the photo shoot? Okay, well, Simone from Natural Trendsetters has a hair show coming up. She'll put you in the hair show. You'll get your photos from being in the hair show. Y'all are going to barter services to support each other because we're only as big as we make each other. And sometimes what the need is doesn't require funds necessarily. It requires those relationships and building together. I've primarily worked by myself. I'm teaming up with different people now, again, to try and really just take this to the next level, not only for myself, but so that when artists hit my stage, they know that they're being seen and heard by people across the board, by people that work 9 to 5 and by people that own radio stations. I am a firm believer that there's only two sets of people that hold the keys, the owner and the janitor. You need to be good to both of those people. The owner
Definitely.
And the janitor. Everybody in between too, but the people that have the keys to the building are the owner and the janitor. So we really need to get all of us together in the same boat on the B side.
So speaking of getting people together, and I love that you're launching the social network the night of the event that we are about to speak about right now. Congratulations. This will be your 17th annual Soul Survivors, a spoken soul experience. What exactly is the Soul Survivors, a spoken soul experience?
Soul Survivors started as an event in support of in support of domestic violence awareness. In 2004, we had a poet. Her name was Lori L. Tennant, who was murdered by her ex-husband. Their divorce had been finalized for 2 weeks. He basically was home when she got home from not home. He was in her home when she got home from a poetry night. Of course, she did not know that he was there. Their children, their 2 sons, were in the house. Her mother was in the house, and he murdered her. He slit her throat, which for a poet, it's kind of ironic that that's what he did.
He did that knowing.
Yeah, she was 25 years old.
Wow.
And I think he's up for parole soon, which is a whole nother conversation that we won't get into. Then the following year, Hurricane Katrina came. And so we supported Sonny Patterson. Sonny Patterson, I had just met her at the National Poetry Slam in August. And then Katrina happened at the end of that month. We got a hold of her, got her contact, and brought her to South Florida. She stayed with us for a little over a week. And to this day, will tell you that more money was raised for her in South Florida than her family ever saw from the Red Cross. Again, the money doesn't always trickle down to where we think it is going. And unfortunately, I'm the type of person that I'm like, I want to put it in your hand. I want to know that you got it. So every year after that, it was something. Will, the real one, was murdered in 2011. This is the 10-year anniversary of him being gone from us. So every year, it's been something. Dwayne from Party Spree murdered in Jamaica 9 months before Will. Lori, Will, and Dwayne were together on the night that she was murdered. Those are the last people that she saw. For all three of them to be gone is really it's strange,
devastating.
But I believe I'm not going to say devastating because I believe in ancestors. So I know that they're up there doing the work. They got us. You know what I mean? But it is still tragic and haunting that the three of them were together and now the three of them are all gone. And then all of us, of course, are now surviving COVID. And even if we're physically surviving, there's mental health issues. There's depression that's coming into play. There's domestic violence that was happening when people were locked up in their houses. There's so many things going on that we show up to the events looking fabulous. And then we come to realize when we start speaking that all of us have a lot going on. So that is the reason for Soul Survivors. The poets look forward to it. We have about 10 poets that are all like ready to participate. Elena the poet, Maury Tai, Taboo, Red Rising Hood. This is something that they look forward to every single year because it's a sharing of everything and recognizing that you're not the only one out there.
And this year with so many people experiencing so many things, I'm sure there's going to be a lot to share. With October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, you guys are focusing on Camille Bell, who is a survivor of breast cancer. She's going through her 4th bout with breast cancer. Talk a little bit about Camille.
Yeah, so the breast cancer she had her double mastectomy, and then there was some found in the brain, somewhere else, and then now her lungs. She's already had her bout with COVID recently. They had to drain her lungs. This is a tube being put in. And one thing about Camille, she's always remained in good spirits, but at some point, it gets to be too much. She is a hairdresser. She is a mother of 2. She has a boy and a girl, and she cannot work. The fathers of her children have been amazing, but at the end of the day, there's certain things, bills that need to be paid, things she has to go to chemo. She's got to get to chemo. The energy to drive to chemo is not always there. You need the Instacart when you can't make it to the supermarket, because the energy is just not there. And she needs every bit of energy that she has just to engage with her children and let them feel like everything is okay. So she will be our first recipient from the social network. Partial proceeds will be donated to her to assist with this process that she's going through again. She's doing chemo again. It just started. And again, she's not working. So that is the goal for that. And of course, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So these are the 2 things that we focus on, and not just for the women, for the men. Men experience cancer and breast cancer, and they experience domestic violence. So that is our focus every year in October.
So Ingrid, we are, not to cut you off, but we're running out of time. So let me give out that information. So it's the 17th annual Soul Survivors, a spoken soul experience happening October 20th, 8 p.m. to midnight. And it's happening at Crave Lounge, 4519 North Pine Island Road in Sunrise. And tell them where they can go to get tickets, how they can support in case they can't make it but want to donate. Give them that information real quick.
On the B side. The letter B, not the word B. You can download the app On the B Side. You can go to our website, onthebside.com. You can follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on whatever, MySpace, whatever you're on. I'm on there. Black Planet. Just look up Ingrid B-I-N-G-R-I-D-B. I need you to be on my side, onthebside.com. 305-519-1369. You can text me. But yes, we just need people to come out and support this event. Definitely support the scene. We are at Crave each and every Wednesday. We are at Racket in Miami with Headliner on third Thursdays of the month doing live music. I just need everybody to support live music and poetry in South Florida.
Yes. So make sure you support my girl, Ingrid B, because I said so. And I just want to thank all of you for tuning in. Make sure you go follow all of her movements on the with the information that she gave you. It's your girl, Supa Cindy, Community Matters, and it's produced by Dr. Delvina. You guys have a great Sunday, and I'll be back with part 2.